Hey everybody, how you doing? And welcome. I'm excited about tonight's conversation, and I pray and hope that you are excited as well. I want to ask you a question before we dive in tonight. And the question is, do you think and believe that you're in a season of where you are trying, striving, going after breakthrough? I believe that we all are in a moment of time where we're pushing to be able to break through. But do you understand that in the beginning or in the process of you going after your breakthrough, there's one thing that you have to do, and that's to have mental breakthrough. You have to have a mental breakthrough for you to be able to go after and have and achieve the type of breakthrough that you want. I know that this conversation is for you, so I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go ahead and get ready to dive in because we're going to have a good conversation tonight. Let's go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Focus on Greatness podcast. I am your host, Hiram, Roche, and on this platform, it is men helping men redefine greatness through service. And on tonight, we have been on this journey of conversation where we have been talking about and going after this context of breakthrough. And we're going to continue this conversation today. But before we do, I need you to do me a favor. I want you to like and share. If you're watching this live on Facebook or if you're watching this live on YouTube, I want you to make sure that you like and share. I want you to share this with your friends and with your family. And also for those that are watching or as listening as well on today, and this is your first time, you have not subscribed to the podcast, make sure that you go on and subscribe. You can do it on any of the podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, Anchor. It's so many of them out there that you want to make sure that you do this. And the reason why I believe that this is important is because sometimes we like to hear things on the go while we're going to work. We want to hear encouragement. We want to be able to get the things that we need to be able to grow and develop as we're going through our day-to-day. And this is a way where you can be able to listen and be able to still be involved in the conversation and stay up to date to all the conversations and the different interviews and things that I have on this platform. So I want to make sure that you do this. If you are ready for tonight's conversation, I need you to do me a favor. I want you to put something in the comment section. I want you to say hi. I want you to show some love. I want you to be able to do that for me. And for those that are watching this on Facebook, I need you to do me a favor. Now, there is a star. I want you in the corner somewhere on the bottom. I need you to show and just share a star with me, showing that this is a place that you support and a place that you love, and to be a part of this conversation. Are you ready? If you're ready, I want to make sure that you dive in. Let's get ready to jump in this conversation. Again, I'm very excited about this. We have been on a journey, I would say, together, and we're now in the month of April, the beginning month of April. Man, first off, this year for me has felt like we are running. I mean, just moving very swiftly, moving very fast. And it seems like it's a lot that's going on. But one of the things that I'm also seeing and recognizing is there's a lot of things that's happening that is going from or in or pushing us in the direction that we have been talking about. If you're just now jumping on and you have not been a part of these conversations, go back and listen to some of the previous conversations, because we've been on this journey talking about us striving and going after breakthrough. In the year of 2022, we are believing that we are going and striving after breakthrough. And one of the things that I realize is that breakthrough in this season of our lives is not external, but it's internal. And so what I believe in this is that as we're striving after breakthrough, going after breakthrough, then there's going to be things that God is going to do throughout this time period to be able to get us prepared and ready for what he's about to do in this next. And I believe it's going to be awesome. One of the things that I also believe is that through this context of breakthrough, and us getting broken through internally, there are things that he is doing that is shaping us, that is preparing us, that is getting us ready for our future. So I want to go ahead, let's go ahead and dive in to what we're going to talk about tonight. Now, for those that are watching, those that are listening, and you know about this title, the title again is Mental Breakthrough. That's what we're dealing with tonight, is mental breakthrough. So I want to use this scripture context as a base for this conversation, and that is going to be in Romans chapter 12, verses 2. And this is what it says. It says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God." I'm going to read it one more time for all of us so we can be on the same page. Again, it's in Romans chapter 12, verses 2, and it says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God." Now, this is important for us because before we dive in any deeper, I want us to be able to simply understand this. I'm going to give you a definition again for the word breakthrough in a minute, but I want to be able to share why this is important. Paul, in this context, is allowing us to be able to realize and see some things. And one of the things that Paul is allowing us to be able to realize and see is that there is a thing that has to be adjusted, transformed, renewed, shapen, changed in our mind, that we can be able to then prove or show forth these different things in the things of God, in our relationship with God. He's telling us that there has to be a mental shift from where we were before. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed. So for us to be transformed and not conformed, there has to be something that is shifting with our mind. Now, let's go ahead and I'm going to give unto us this definition of breakthrough. Now, breakthrough is an act. This is the definition that we have been using throughout this conversations. Breakthrough is an act or instance of moving through or beyond an obstacle. I'm going to say it again. Breakthrough is an act or instance of moving through or beyond an obstacle. Now, through this conversation, here it is. This is where we're going. Through this conversation today, I want to be able to allow us to understand, I believe, something that is extremely important when we talk about this context of mental breakthrough. The reality of where we are is that there has to be, this is what Paul is showing us, there has to be a mental shift when you move from out of one place into another. I'm going to say it again. There has to be a mental shift from when you move from out of one place into another. If there is no mental shift, then your body has changed, but your mind has not. Now, I'm trying to just clarify or really lay this out. The reality is, again, is if we do not have a mental shift, then what happens is our body has changed, but our mind has not. What does this mean plainly? Plainly, this is what this means. If you move or say that I'm no longer going to do this activity, I'm no longer going to walk in as an addict, I'm no longer going to be, living this type of way, I'm no longer going to walk this type of way, I'm no longer going to do this. If you choose to no longer be or walk in this place in your life, but you don't change your mind, you will go back to doing what you did before. I'm going to say it again because it's plain. If you choose to say, I'm no longer going to be here, I'm no longer going to act like this, I want to change my life, I want to be able to do this. But if you do not change your mindset, then you will see yourself gradually walking back into that same position. Why? Because here's the reality: if we do not change the mind in this aspect, the mind does control the body. Your mind is going to control what direction, how you're going to act and respond to situations. So if we do not have a mental breakthrough, then what we're going to do is we're going to have all of these different actions, but we're still going to have the same mindset that we had when we changed. Now, what reality is, we know that this is not an overnight conversation. This is not something that we're looking at that needs to be changed or will be changed overnight. No, we understand that that's not going to happen in that way. But we do recognize and understand that there has to be a change of mindset for me to be able to go to another place. Now, I want you to do me a favor, surely for those that are watching this live, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell me, I want you to comment, I want you to put this in the comment section, and I want you to say, I have to change my mind. Now, I'm about to get it more simplistic, but I need us to be on the same page. I'm about to change my mind. Here it is. If you want to change your financial status, you have to change your mind. You cannot think in a poverty mindset and think that you're going to change your financial status. It's not going to happen. If you are going to change your relationship problems, that whatever issues you might be going through in your relationships, things that you might be challenged with in your relationship, stuff you and your spouse might be struggling with, whatever that is, if you want that to change, you have to change your mindset. Simply, let's get real plain. Some of the mindset that you have to change is you have to change how not only how you think of these things, but how you view these things. Because reality is, some of us, let's look at relationship aspect. As a man, one of the things that I try to achieve and go after when it comes in reference to me and my wife, one of the things that I try to do is I try to serve her. So in me serving her, that means that's me helping her. That means that there's areas that I have recognized within our relationship. There's areas within our relationship that I have recognized that she needs help in, not in a negative. Hey, I know you're trying to accomplish this. You're trying to go after this goal. So I'm going to help you in these areas that I can tell that you need help in, that if these things was off your plate, if this was off of your shoulder, it would help you to be able to do what you're trying to go after, what God has called you to do. So my objective is to be able to serve her. Now, here's the reality. I did not have that mindset coming in the relationship. When I first got into my relationship and first got into my marriage, I was raised or with the thought, I had the thought process of how would these things that I do benefit me? If I do this, what am I going to get out of it? If I do this, what am I going to get out of it? If I go here, what am I going to get? It was always, no matter what I did, it was what was I going to get back in return. But me having that thought process and that mindset was not helping my relationship. It was hurting my relationship. So then when I got to a point, into a place where I wanted breakthrough in my marriage, when I wanted this not to be a problem, when I didn't want to struggle like this in my relationship, I had to then not just change my actions, I had to change my mindset. And if I did not change my mindset, my actions were not going to last. Now, let's be real. There were moments in the relationship where I would say, babe, no, I'm never going to do that again. Or I won't say that again. Or I won't act like that again. But because the mind had not changed, the actions were not going to last long. So for us to have breakthrough in the different areas in our lives, we have to realize that we have to have mental mental breakthrough. We have to have a mental change. We have to have a change of our minds for us to gain or to get the type of breakthrough that we want in our lives. So the question that I want to ask you is, how do you think about the areas in your life now? What is your mindset concerning those things now? What is your mindset when it comes concerning to your money? What is the mindset when it comes in reference to your relationships? What is the mindset when it comes in reference to your struggles? Let's get real deep and personal. What is the mindset when it comes in reference to your pain points? What is the mindset when it comes in reference to who you will or who you will not help? Let's get real, because the mindset that we have has to be shifted, has to be changed, has to be broken through. Why? Because we're trying to go somewhere. And if we do not have a change, if we do not have a breakthrough in our mentality, then we are going to try to do all these other forms of breakthroughs in our lives, and we still won't have any results. Because really, this is what we said at the beginning of the year. I'm not going to end 2022 the same way I ended 2021. And the only way that you're going to shift that is that your mentality has to change. How you think about yourself has to change. How you think about your business has to change. How you think about the ministry has to change. How you think about your wife, how you think about your husband, those things have to change. Because if they don't change, then it won't change. It will not change. It won't even last long. How do I know that? Ask this question to yourself. A lot of people, we started off the year with a lot of goals, with a lot of things that we want to achieve, a lot of stuff that we wanted to go after. A lot of things that we said I was tired of in last year, and I want to be better this year, and I want to do X, and I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I'm going to do, and I'm going to do, and I'm going to do. Ask yourself, are you still working on it? Are you still going after the things that you wrote down in the beginning of the year to say, these are the things that I want to go after. These are the things that I want to, these are the goals that I want to achieve. These are the things that I want to overcome. These are the things that I want to have breakthrough in. Are you still going after it? Or have you stopped? And if you have stopped, a lot of the reason why is not that you're not disciplined. It's not that you don't have the consistency. Nope. It's not all of those things. Nope. It's not that you're not as focused as you probably should or need to be. It's not just those things. Because you can say, I want to get focused. You can start working on your discipline. You can start working on all of those things. If you start working on your focus, your discipline, working on pieces in your character, if you start working on all of those things, you know what the string that attaches all of those things is? Your mentality. If your mentality does not change, then it's not going to matter what you put on a sheet of paper. If you say, God, at the end of the year, I want to be able to have X amount of dollars in the account, it's not only can he bring in the money. Nope, it's not just that. It's not only can he give you the good job and use these different resources as a way to be able to bring in the money. Nope, it's not just that. It's the reality of it is what do you think about money? What is your mindset on it? What is your mindset on your health? What is your mindset on the things that you actually want to achieve? And if we do not break through, if we do not have that change in our mindset, then we'll never have the type of breakthrough that we want to achieve. Let's look at this again. Let's look at what Paul is talking about again. And I want to be able to, let's really see and examine this in detail. He says this, and be not conformed. This is Romans chapter 12, verses 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove. Because you have transformed your mind, because there has been a shift in your mindset, now there are things that you can prove. You can prove what is that good and acceptable and the perfect will of God. But you cannot do this if we took out the transformed, being transformed by the renewing of our mind, and we stayed only conformed, we would not be able to prove. We would not be able to have any proof that there has been a change within me. So, this is what I want you to do. I want you to write down. I want you to write down. I want you to write down how you see these different areas. I want you to write down. This is what I want you to write down. I want you to write down, how do you think about, if your goal this year, the thing that you're trying to go after, the thing that you want to achieve this year is you want to see a change in your marriage. I want you to say and write down, how do I think about my marriage? If you want to see a change in your finances and you have a plan of what you want to lay out, I want you to take the time to write out and say, how do I think about that? What is the mindset that I currently have? And then here it is. What's the mindset I need to have for this to change? For this to change, for your mindset to change, that also means the information has to change. The information that you are feeding yourself about this specific topic, about this specific thing that you want to achieve, that has to now change. Because the way that we're able to be transformed by the renewing of the mind is the information that we're putting into our mind. The things that we're reading in the Bible, the stuff that we're reading in our word about God is what starts to transform our lives, is a part of the process of transformation. So if I want a transformation and breakthrough in my mindset for my marriage, I have to now get the information that I need that is going to help shape my mindset in the direction that I'm trying to go after. If I want my mindset to change when it comes to reference to my money, I got to start reading. I got to give myself the right information that will help shape and change the mindset that I have. Because here's the thing, the information and the mindset that you currently have is based upon the information that you've either been taught or the information that you have seen. It's either by the things that you have seen by people in other people's lives or the information that you have gained over the time. So if both of those things have shaped my mindset, then I need to start changing my mindset by reshaping the things that I put in it, that I allow to be able to teach me. Now, for example, I'm not, this is not a clown in any shape or form, any shape or fashion, but it is what it is. My wife, she's a lover, not a lover. I ain't even gonna say that. She likes watching ratchet TV. I'll put it out like that. She likes watching some ratchet TV, watching, all these different scenarios and situations, and I have nothing against that at all. But here's the reality. Here's the reality. The more that you engage in that type of context, right? The more that you engage in that type of context, I want you to ask yourself this question. When you finish watching the woman or the man that cheated on the husband, that cheated on the wife, or you watch the wife that, was messing around and with the other guy and the blah, 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 and you watch all this ratchet stuff that's happening, all this crazy stuff that's happening in these relationships, you watch all these ups and downs and all of these crazy things and breakups and divorces and back together again and all these just back and forth crazy scenarios and situations. Ask yourself, what is that doing to your mindset about relationships? How is that shifting or changing your mindset about relationships? Does those things, even though you know that that has nothing to do with your personal life, does those thoughts, does those shows or context, that information, I'm just using it as an example, but does those things, yeah, Dad, soap operas, does those things, how does those things make you think about when it comes to relationships? Do you start second guessing or looking at your spouse a little crazy because of what you've seen on TV? Or does the thought in your mind come and say, I bet he bet not ever, she bet not ever do that. I love you, baby. You know I love you. I know we good. But it's those things that are shaping the way that we think about our relationship. So when we're saying that we want change and we're saying that we want breakthrough in our relationship, when we're saying we want breakthrough in our marriage, in our marriage, it can be your boyfriend, girlfriend thing, it can be friendships, whatever. When we're looking at all of these contexts, ask yourself, is this information, I'm not saying not watch it, don't hear what I'm not saying, does the information that I'm engaging, does the stuff that I am reading, does the conversations that I'm having, are these things helping to change or shape the type of thought process that I want and need for me to have breakthrough? Because if it's not, you don't want to fill your mind with that thing alone. Now, again, are we gonna watch TV? Yes, I'm not that type of dude. Are you gonna go and watch shows? Yes, go watch it, enjoy yourself. But reality is, you have to make sure that what you are teaching your mind for where you're trying to go is more than what is happening in that scenario. Because again, we want to have breakthrough. I'm looking for, this is something that I'm believing for, not just for me. I'm believing for the people that God has allowed me to be able to speak into their lives, the men that God has allowed me to be able to pour into, encourage them through this podcast and through side conversation that I have with men. Through these moments, I'm believing that that at the end of this year, they will have breakthrough in their marriage. Their financially will be better. Their relationships with their family or with their friends will shift and change. Their mentality of how they look at themselves will be better. The place that they wanted to be in, the dreams, the desires, the goals, the things that they're wanting to go after, they'll have the mindset that they need to go after those things. But I understand that they can't get to that place if we're still talking about the stuff that don't help you. I'm sorry. I just got excited. But if we are not shifting our mindsets, if we're not allowing the information that we need to be able to shift our mindsets, then we'll be stuck at the same place and end the same way at the end of the year. And that's not what I want. I want your life to be different by the end of the year. And the way that you do that is that you have to change, transform, break through in this mind. You got to break through in this mind. Now you have to relearn. You got to relearn how to deal with your emotions as a man. I'm relearning that now. I'm reading a book called Emotional Intelligence 2.0. I have another book that I'm reading by Bishop Jakes, Emotions. Why? Because I understand. For me personally, I have to understand how to be able to deal with my emotions, and the way that I thought about dealing with my emotions, the way I have been dealing with my emotions over the years, by the way that I thought about those, have been wrong. But I want breakthrough. So for me to get the breakthrough that I need emotionally, now I told you, breakthrough in this season, in 2022, we are striving for breakthrough. And the breakthrough that we are going after is internal. So this internal breakthrough of emotional strength that I need for 2022, that goes with what I need for my future, that goes with what God is calling me to do. I need this, but I can't get that if I don't change this mindset. It's the mindset. And so when God was speaking to me and talking to me about this scenario, about us getting breakthrough, about us walking in breakthrough, man, I'm telling you, it has everything to do with our mind. Now, again, for those that are watching this on YouTube, please show some love in the comment section. Those that are watching on Facebook, give me some hearts, give me some love. If this is blessing you, and I want you to do me a favor, surely for those that are on Facebook, there should be a place where you can be able to give me a star just to be able to say, hey, you support what the Focus on Greatness podcast does, and you believe in what I am sharing and saying, because I want you, no matter who you are, no matter what your background is, no matter what you have went through, no matter what your struggles is, no matter what your past looked like, no matter what failures you might have had, no matter successes you had, no matter where your relationship status is now, your financial status is now, it does not, none of those context matters. What matters is where you're trying to go. And the place that you're trying to go is you want to be successful. You want to be great in your relationship. You want to be great when it comes in reference to your money. You want to be great when it comes in reference to your business. You want to be great when it comes in reference to being a husband or being a father. You want to be great in all of those things. And I want you to be great. That's why I'm telling you, the way that you're going to gain the breakthrough that you need in 2022, it is your mentality. It's your mindset. You got to shift it. You have to change it. Now, I know somebody is probably listening to this and they're saying, listen, I hear what you're saying, and I agree, but it's hard. It is. It is difficult to change your mindset. It's difficult to change your mindset when this is the mindset that you've always had. It is hard. The question is, it's not, is it hard? That's not the question. The question really is, are you willing to break through? Are you willing to break through? Again, I remind you of the definition. It's an act or instance of moving through or beyond an obstacle. Right now, the mindset that you currently have is an obstacle. It's the thing that's standing between where you currently are and the success that you want in life. It's the thing that's right here, that's standing before or between what you are right now and where you're trying to go in your relationships, where you are right now and where you want to go financially, where you are right now and where you want to go as a father, where you are right now and where you want to go as a man. It's the thing, it's the block, it's the obstacle between where you are and where you're trying to go. But the question is, are you willing to go through what it takes to break through? Now, I remember when I was shifting. I remember when I first really start trying to live for God. And I understood that when I first started to live for God, there were certain things, there were mindsets, thought process, there were all these different things that I had before I started to truly live for God. And when I went after this relationship with God, I understood that there are certain things that it was going to change in my life. I knew that the way I acted had to change. I knew the way I spoke on certain contexts had to change. I knew that my attitude, my anger had to change. I knew certain aspects had to change in my life. And in understanding that, what I did not realize is as I was going after God, He was changing my mindset about these different areas. Now, I'm not saying that it happened overnight. Nope. Somebody came, stepped on my foot. I still got mad. Somebody did something to me. You depending on the day, you might have got something. It's not one of those things where it was overnight, but I realized and I came to a determination that I would rather make the adjustments than live where I was. I would rather make the change than stay in the place that I was at. Because even now, currently, I have made a determination that I have to get to the place that I need to get to. Hear what I'm saying? I have to get to the place that I need to get to. Why? I know that there's a mind that I have to have. I know that there's a heart that I have to have. I know that there's an action that I have to have. That I know that there are certain behaviors that I have to have. When it comes in reference to my future, I understand it and I know it, but I also recognize that I cannot not get there. And the reason why I cannot not get there is because there's too much at stake. There's too much at stake. If I don't change my mind now, I don't know what will happen to my family. If I don't change my mind now, I don't know what will happen to my dreams. If I don't change my mind now, I don't know what will happen to the people that I'm supposed to be called to. If I don't change my mind, I don't know what my relationships will look like. If I don't change, it's too much at stake for me to keep the same mindset that I have currently. There's too much at stake. So for me to be able to get to where I need to get to, for me to be able to achieve the things that I know that I need to be able to achieve in my life, the stuff that I want to have, the stuff that I want to do, the people that I need to help, the people that I want to help, the lives that I want to sow into, all of those things have to happen. And I know they need to happen and I want them to happen, but I understand that I can't get to the place that I need to if I don't change my mind. If I don't change my mind, I'll wish, I'll pray, I'll beg, I'll cry all day. And God is saying, I understand you want to change, but you got to change your mindset. So hear this. Right now, I'm in a different location, not just different place spiritually, no, physically, I'm at a different physical location. Currently, I'm in the beautiful state of Colorado Springs. And, Colorado Springs, Colorado. I'm in the beautiful state of Colorado. And right now, being in this place, I understood that me moving and transitioning to Colorado, I knew and understood I'm at a new place. And because I'm at a new place, that means I have to have a new mindset. I cannot use the same thought process. I cannot use the same way that I would do things before. I cannot use that same thought, the same mindset. I cannot use that at this new place. So what I'm allowing God to do is restructure my mind, break the things and the barriers in my mind, the things in my mind that says that I'm not good enough, the things in my mind that says that I can't achieve these things, the things in my mind that says that you're wasting your time, or I don't know why you did this, but you crazy, you shouldn't have did this, and you should have did this, and you what if did, and what if they say, and what if this happened? All the things that's in my mind, I have to break through those. Because I understand that if I try to use the same mind in a new place, I'll get the same results that I did before. And hear me, my life was great. My life was good. Not great, but it was good where I was. It was good in the place that I was at. I had been there all my life. It was good where I was at before. But God called me to shift and move to a new location. And in being at this new location, here's the reality. I cannot have the same mindset. Nope. Not if I want new results. Not if I want God to take me to another place. Not if I want God to show me new things. Not if I want to experience new things. Nope. I cannot have the same mindset. So the areas where I used to be fearful, I cannot have the same mindset. In the areas where I used to be doubtful, I cannot have the same mindset. The areas where I used to be able to look at certain people a certain type of way, I cannot have the same mindset. I have to change the mindset because I've changed the location. You have to change your mindset because you're trying to change a location. You don't want to be at the same place in your marriage. You don't want to be at the same place in your life. You don't want to be at the same place that you were at before. So if you don't want to be and have the same results, you have to change the mindset. You have to. Because you're trying to get something that you've never had before. You're trying to experience something that you've never experienced before. And you cannot have that walking into this door of breakthrough saying, I'm going to keep the same thought process that I had before. Nope, sure can't. So when we are going through the rest of this year, when you're going through the rest of the month of April, I want you not to think on those things the way you thought before tonight. I want you to change your thought process. I want you to change. When you go to work in the morning, I want you to think about your job in a total different way. When you get off of this live or you stop after you finish listening to this podcast, I want you to think about your spouse and hold it another different way. I want you to think about your children another different way. I want you to think about your dreams another way. I want you to think about your finances another. I want you to think about all of these things differently. Even here it is. I want you to think about the one that you thought was an enemy differently. I want you to think about the one that you didn't like differently. I want you to think about the person that always hated on you, was always being mean to you, always despising your strengths, always looking down at you. I want you to think about them differently. You want me to tell you? I don't even. I'll say it. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all something. This is what changed my mind. It changed my mind always, also in my prayer life. Because I used to pray, surely when you're talking about folks that transgress against you, that do you wrong, that says something that hurts your feelings or whatever that might be. And then we normally will get in prayer and be praying about them. And then be like, God, I want you to go get them. God, I want you to take care of them because they hurt. Nope. My thought process changed about the ones that offended me. And now my prayer is this: God, I pray for them that offended me, that transgress against me, because they know not what they do. They don't know why they do it. They don't know they do it because they're hurting. They don't know that they do it because of something that's going wrong within their own selves. They don't know why they do what they do to me. They don't. So God, my prayer is, feel the places that they're broken. I'm telling you, feel the areas that they're hurting in. Heal them where they need to be healed. Why? Because my thought process changed. So I don't look at my enemies the same way. I look at my enemies the same way that Jesus looks at the ones that did not like him. Man, y'all hurting, and y'all don't even know y'all hurt. So yeah, when they took him and put Jesus on a cross, we're grateful and thankful. But the reason why Jesus had to say, listen, y'all don't understand what y'all doing. Y'all doing this because you're mad, because you're angry, because you hate the way that I do ministry. You don't like the way that I'm moving around and doing different things. That's why I'm on this cross, because of that. But you don't understand that I'm on this cross really because I'm saving your life. Think about that thought process. Think about the thought process. Stephen, a young man ministering the gospel and teaching and trying to be able to allow people to understand the goodness of God, preaching unto them, showing them where they are in their walk with the Lord. and showing them and letting them know by their historical understanding that the man you killed and crucified and went against is the same God that talked to your forefathers and has been moving in your lives. All of the same stuff that you are studying is you've been studying about this man and you crucified him. But he still came to save your life, and they stoned him. And while they're stoning him, while they talking about him, why they killing this man? He said, God, look, they don't know. They don't know what they're doing. They don't understand this. Forgive him, God. While he's dying, forgive him, God. While they're throwing rocks at, forgive him. What type of mindset is that? That's a different mindset. But it took Stephen to a different place. And I want you to go to a different place in your life, in every area of your life. It's not limited in no way, shape, or form. But the only way that you are going to get from where you are now to the place that God has for you is you have to have mental breakthrough. Thank you all, every single one of you that are on, that is listening. I'm always grateful and thankful for y'all and what y'all are for me. Y'all are a constant reminder that God has called me to a people that want change in their lives. They want to be great in every area of their lives. And you will be. I love you all. Thank you all. If you know somebody that needs to hear this word and you don't see their name, or you don't know if they listen to it or not, send this to them. Why? Because I'm not trying to, let me get all of these numbers. That's wonderful in and of itself. I understand that for the algorithm and all the different metrics and all the different things. I understand all of that. But the real essence of why I do what I do is because I want to see people grow. And I want to see people change and be exactly who they're supposed to be. And that's why I do what I do. I love you all, family. Thank you all. Talk to you all next time right here on Focus on Greatness. Oh, make sure you join me tomorrow morning for Transformation Tuesday morning devotion at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be on Instagram Live as well as on YouTube. I love you all, family. Talk with y'all next time. Bye-bye. Continue to be great. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. I pray that this conversation was impactful to you in some form of way. What I want to make sure is that not only are you hearing and learning this information, but that you're taking the time to apply something, some nugget, some piece that you took from this conversation that you can say, I can apply this for my life to be better. I want you to continue to be with me and make sure that you're with me every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I love you all, and I'll talk to you next time right here on the Focus on Greatness family. Bye-bye.